So I've been working in the corporate space for the last 17 years. And about 6 years ago, I became a mom. And I'm a mom of two beautiful children. One is 6 and one is 4. And what I realized after becoming a mom was that it's just really hard to have a career and be a mom.
Yeah.
And I really think that we don't need to choose, and we should be able to have them both.
Yeah.
So I decided to start writing about all the challenges I was facing, and I launched something called the Working Mums Club, which is a newsletter on Substack. And I started growing a community of moms who probably feel the same way.
Yeah.
Working Mums Club is really about moms who have career aspirations, but also want to be present moms. I try and support them by offering them resources on how can we better design our work so that it revolves around our life rather than our life revolves around our work. That could mean finding other ways of making an income outside of our 9 to 5.
Yeah.
I talk about productivity hacks. How can we work better and faster? Maybe AI is going to help us change that. So I discuss those things. I interview other moms who have kind of achieved what I'm trying to achieve and maybe other moms are trying to achieve. And I'm trying to build a support community around that of like-minded moms.
Yeah.
And I recently quit 9 to 5.
Congratulations.
To see if I can pursue this full time, because I do think it's possible. I do think that we don't have to choose.
Yeah. So what's your question then around that?
I think my question is, I'm moving from a very corporate background to, I'm not sure what to call it, maybe an entrepreneur or a solopreneur or a newsletter writer or a community builder.
Let's go with entrepreneur.
Okay.
Let's go with
So
it.
how do I move from being 100% corporate girl, institutionalized for the last 17 years, to entrepreneur, doing something completely different that I've never done before? How do I even find my own personal brand that I'm putting out there? And I don't like to use the word selling because I'd like to believe my community to be more than just a sales pitch. How do I use all the experience I have and transfer it into this personal brand of mine that's going to build this community that I'm dreaming of?
Yeah, I love it. And I think that there's many people watching and listening that are thinking the same in the space of, I'm in corporate, but how do I move? How does my skill set transfer? And I think one of the things that I always think about is when you're starting out with something new, you're often best placed to serve the person you once were. So you only need to be 1 chapter, 2 chapters even ahead to support someone else who's not even made the leap like you have of actually leaving full-time employment.
And I think in a corporate world, as many might know, and you might know yourself as well, you're always thinking about the company. And what can I do for the company? And how can I work for the company? Yeah. Now, when I reposition myself and I'm thinking about, okay, but this is me.
Yeah.
And it's quite easy to run a blank a little bit, because you're still defining who you are. What do you stand for? How are you going to help others? How are you building what you're building? And how is it going to work? Who are you to make this work, Because when you're in corporate, you have the brand values and you have your mission statement and your visions, and you're kind of just blending in with what's given to you, right? And you're just implementing. But when you're on your own, it's a blank piece of paper, and I think I'm looking at it going, where do I begin? Who am I?
And kind of taking that in the piece there of where do you kind of take that next? Like, what are baby steps for you to do? And I think the piece on what you are doing is, once you're best placed to serve someone you once were. So you were that working mum. You want to help that person to be where you are now. So the credibility for you comes there. All those hacks that you're talking about, the things that you're saying that you help people with, is because you were a working mum and because you are a mum. And I think often in corporate, with employees that have come from a corporate mindset, is that it needs to be all in a cute little nice box and tied up before we take it to the outer world. And the answer to that is it's not. It's a constant evolution.
It's so funny. It's like, as my job before, I'm a digital strategist, so I'm in digital communications, and I used to sit across my clients and tell them what you're telling me now. But it's amazing how when you have to turn inwards, I'm actually really surprised how it's not easy. Yeah. It's easier to look outwards because you're not involved, you're not emotionally connected. You can see the big picture because you're not that person. So it's very easy to, I could advise them. When it came to me,
it's so hard.
It's just like,
You can't see the wood from the trees because
No.
you're so emotionally invested in
Correct.
it.
It's a lot of also getting out of your comfort zone. I've realized. And it's like, you know, a lot of things you just have to do because, yeah, you're doing everything on your own.